Part 20. I Can Break the Dimensional Wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 191. Afterwards, when the light music department was over, they went to their club for intense rehearsals. Usually, the girls may have a more laid-back style of painting, and they like to drink tea and touch fish, but at critical moments, the girls of King Ian will not lose the chain. Soon, the sound of playing came from the light music department, and even the club downstairs felt it. Because the people downstairs usually know the light music department, they are more curious about this matter. When there is no school festival and freshman ceremony, the light music department starts to practice busy, which is really a bit surprising. Not long after, when they were practicing in the light music department, their consultant teacher, Sawako Yamanaka, opened the door and walked in. Sawako Yamanaka, who used to be a member of the light music department, stayed at the school as a teacher after graduation. She usually pretends to be dignified and gentle in front of the students. She is very popular among the students. In fact, she is unexpectedly very casual behind the scenes. I like it. Playing rock and roll, the stunt is playing the guitar with teeth. I usually take care of the people in the light music department, there is almost no generation gap, just like normal friends, and I often like to take them out to play. However, when girls perform, Sawako has a special hobby, which is to design costumes for them, such as maid outfits, bunny girl outfits, and kimono yukatas, and even encourages them to wear them during performances. Zoheza saw the light tone girl playing, and walked straight to the table without saying anything, and sat down habitually. "Where's the cake? Is there no cake today?" Sawako asked suspiciously. Usually, after being tired all day, Sawako would come to the light music department to rest, and then eat some cake and drink some tea, but when she came today, she found that there was nothing on the table. Hearing Sawako's inquiry, King Ian's practice also stopped. Chin Chui took a look at teacher Zoheza, and said embarrassedly, "Teacher, I have been practicing before, and I will prepare right away." It's just that Kotobuki's movements were directly stopped by Tanakaritsu. She looked at Sawako dissatisfied. "Little Sawa. We are practicing, can you not disturb us and just stay aside obediently?" "Huh? Are you practicing?" Zoheza seemed to have noticed this, so he looked up and down the girls. "Is there any performance recently?" In Sawako's eyes, if there is no important performance, how can these guys practice well? Even if they practice, they still have to eat cakes, drink tea, and practice after eating and drinking. There is an event. Although Ritsu Tanaka was very upset when Xiao Zuohi said this, he really couldn't refute it, but Ritsu's tone was still showing off. "We have a performance abroad." "A performance abroad?" Hearing this news, Zoheza's eyes lit up. She seemed a little surprised. Being able to perform abroad is something that some powerful bands cannot do. "Have you been invited?" "No, who would invite a campus band like yours, or a foreign country? It should be an arrangement of friends and acquaintances." Light tone girls. Seeing the girls' reactions, Zoheza knew that she had guessed right. She also participated in performances when she went abroad to play, and it was arranged by acquaintances at that time. Even in the King Ian theatre version, when they were traveling in the UK, the King Ian girls also met acquaintances in the UK to help them perform. However, one of the venues at that time was a restaurant, and the other was an open-air park. They performed for park tourists, and most of them were there are old people and children, and there are not many people. From Sawako's point of view, it is estimated that the scale of the performance they will participate in is not very large. Maybe there is no appearance fee, just a voluntary help. After all, large-scale events will not go to a group of little girls. "Have you decided to go? Which country?" Zohezi asked curiously. "Hwaguo," Aki Yamamio replied calmly. Oh, didn't you travel there last time?" Zoheza suddenly realized. Last time I talked about how good the trip was, and I showed it off for a long time. It's really enviable to dance with hundreds of people and see pandas. They didn't call me. They are all heartless guys. Akiyama Mio didn't know what to say. It was true that she didn't call Mrs. Sawako last time. Snapped. Zoheza suddenly slapped the table and stood up, with flames in his eyes. I'm going this time too. Anyway, it's going to be a holiday soon, and I'm free. By the way, let me design the costumes for your performance. This time, I'm going to design an amazing costume for the people of Hwaguo. I can't embarrass you. Sit down for me, you are enough to embarrass us. Ritsu Tanaka pushed Sawako down. Thinking of her previous maid outfit and yukata outfit, she felt ashamed. But in the end, after discussion, it was Yamada Sawako who also joined the queue for traveling abroad as a caregiver. Syaruo has been making preparations in China and is responsible for some problems of the concert. In fact, most of the troublesome things have been dealt with by her father. The next steps are some details, but there are many details that are very troublesome. In this way, Syaruo put all her energy into this matter, and usually went home to spend time with her family, and then prepared for the concert, which was considered a rest. I have never been to other worlds, and with the fermentation of the preheating publicity, after about half a month, everything is almost ready. Then, Syaruo called Akiyama Mio, communicated for a while, and told them that they were ready and could come at any time, and hoped to come as soon as possible, rehearsal and some equipment preparation in advance. After hanging up the phone, Akiyama Mio suddenly felt a little nervous in her heart, and she didn't know if it was because she wanted to see Syaruo, or because of the concert performance. Although I have been to Hwaguo once before, the feeling of going this time is completely different from the last time. This time, the purpose of going is not to travel, but a live, an exotic concert belonging to the light music department. They have already bought tickets, tomorrow's plane. I'm leaving tomorrow, and I always feel that this time I'm much more nervous, even more nervous than the school festival performance. Mio Akiyama clenched her fingers tightly. At this time, the five of them had just finished practicing, and everyone was a little tired. During these days, they are all practicing intensely, and they don't have much time to touch fish. The practice plan is arranged by Akiyama Mio, and they even play for 2 hours in order to insist on playing. Insufficient physical strength and performance failure. Even if it is not sure how many people will come to see it, the girls are very serious about this matter. Mio-chan, don't be nervous. I don't feel nervous at all, and there is always a special feeling when performing in other countries, Yui Hirasawa said, putting his finger to his mouth. I have it too, I feel itchy in my heart, that kind of indescribable feeling. Ritsu Tanaka raised his hand in agreement, but it feels like it will be very popular. I must record it, and then show it to my younger brother. Itchy, itchy. Yui Hirasawa suddenly twisted his body, and then hugged Azusa Nakano next to him. Itchy. Senior Wei, are you nervous and broken? Azusa Nakano looked at Yui Hirasawa speechlessly. Her senior always liked to hug her for no reason. How many audiences will there be? Will there be 5,000 people? Chin Chui asked suddenly. After asking this sentence, the girls next to her all glanced at her. In their eyes, Kotobuki looked a little cute. Oh. Is the Tsumugi broken too? How could there be 5,000 people? Tanakaritsu replied immediately. Small live, there can't be too many people, I think, 1,000 people? Nakano Azusa didn't understand the scale of Hwaguo's performance, so he could only guess. One guesses 5,000, and the other guesses 1,000, then I'll guess 3,000 people. Yui Hirasawa stretched out 3 fingers. I always feel that you are a little too optimistic. Tanakaritsu was a little speechless. Watching them discussing eagerly, Akiyama Mio didn't interrupt at all, but quietly looked at the sky outside the window. Her thoughts flew to nowhere. Tomorrow. Akiyama Mio murmured. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zojezi Jumiao. Chapter 192. Time flies. The timelines of the two worlds slowly converged. When the Kingian girl was about to arrive, Xiaoruo got the system prompt, and then went to pick up the airport according to the system prompt. It was the same as last time, the same airport, and the same location. We're here again, Huaguo. Yue Pings rushed out of the airport again. Although it was the second time, he was still very excited. Be careful, sister. Yue Hirasawa's younger sister, Yu Hirasawa, looked at her sister with some worry, for fear that her sister would encounter any danger. This time, unlike the previous 5-member group, there were a lot more people coming this time. In addition to the Kingian 5-member group, there were Yue Hirasawa's younger sister, Yue Hirasawa, and the consultant teacher Sawako Yamada. Okay, from now on, you all have to listen to my instructions. After all, you are abroad. As an adult, I will naturally take care of you. Zoheze pushed the sunglasses he was wearing, looking very mature. Today Sawako was wearing a beige windbreaker and high boots, and she was very delicately dressed. Xiao Ziuo, he is so beautifully dressed. Is he going to meet a handsome guy from Huaguo to solve his single problem? Ritsu Tianjing couldn't help asking. Don't talk nonsense. Zoheze quickly denied. Oh. There were disbelieving looks all around. Although Sawako Yamada is a teacher, she has long lost the majesty of a teacher after staying in the light music department for a long time, and she is like a child instead. Under the leadership of Yamada Sawako, some of them saw Xiaoruo at the pickup place, and the first one to find it was Akiyama Mio, and she immediately pointed her finger in Xiaoruo's direction. Look, Xiaoruo-jun is there. Oh, I see, Pingzui waved Xiaoruo after seeing Xiaoruo. Here. Soon, the two sides met. Ni hao, please advise Duo. This time, Pingzui stepped forward to greet Xiaoruo again, and at the same time she blinked at Xiaoruo. How is it? Is it because my Chinese is much more fluent and my pronunciation is standard? Well, I studied very well, and my pronunciation is very standard. After Xiaoruo finished speaking, she took another look at Akiyama Mio. Among these people, the one who has the best relationship with Xiaoruo is Akiyama Mio. The soup house experience did not affect her. You came. The two had a simple exchange like this, and didn't say much, but that was enough. After Xiaoruo finished speaking, she glanced at everyone behind her, then chatted with Sawako Yamanaka for a while, and then began to help them carry their luggage to the car. This time, more people came, so Xiaoruo didn't take them home, but prepared a special hotel to arrange them. After all, it was their first day here, and Xiaoruo was not in a hurry to take them directly to the concert venue, but took them to a delicious meal first, and entertained them first, so that they had a buffer time. By the way, take a break. Xiaoruo noticed last time that they like to eat hot pot and mutton, so this time it is the same arrangement. Under the guidance of food, the girls were full of food, and even Sawako, who was pretending to be a lady, finally gave up her disguise and fell on the chair with her big belly. After all, it had been a week, so Xiaoruo and the Kingian girls were familiar with each other, and it wasn't awkward to chat with them. At the same time, the preparation for the concert also involves identity verification. Xiaoruo checked on the internet. Although the members of the light music department are all from another world, in the real world, there is a system of protection, and their identity information is all no problem. Passport information can be found online, so identity approval for the concert is not a problem. The next day, when everyone in Kingian had almost rested, and seeing that they were all in good spirits, Xiaoruo took them to Tianbei Gymnasium to visit the venues. This time, everyone was also picked up in the car. Everyone in the Kingian girl also knows that they have enough food, drink, and rest, and they have to work. But they were also very curious about the venue they were going to. They wanted to ask about it before, but because of the food, they suddenly left all other things behind. Well, may I ask, where is the performance? Yamada Sawako asks Yaruo. Sawako Yamada was also very satisfied with yesterday's reception. At least as the inviter, Sawako Yamada saw Yaruo's sincerity. The attitude of the other party was also quite good, and her Japanese was also good, so she still had a good impression of Yaruo. It'll be there soon, you'll know when you see it. Yaruo didn't tell them directly, but kept it a secret. Hey, tell me. Yes, I'm curious. Hirasawa Yui and Tanakaritsu asks Yaruo around, but Yaruo was tight-lipped and did not disclose any information. It is so mysterious, whether it is Sawako or the Kingian girls, they are even more curious. Soon, they took the car and arrived at a venue that could be seen as huge from the outside. After seeing this venue, the Kingian girls didn't react for a while. Although it's not like they haven't seen this kind of large venue before, but if Xia brings them here, can they still hold a live in such a place? Come with me. Yaruo took out several passes from her bag, and issued one to each of them. With this pass, you can enter the backstage of the venue. After receiving the pass, the girls were still in a trance, and they couldn't understand the Chinese written on the pass. But they all seemed to have a premonition at this time. Yaruo brought them backstage, because Yaruo had been busy here before, so many people would greet Yaruo when they saw her. Of course, those staff members focused more on the girls behind Yaruo. Akiyama Mio looked at the wide scene, the staff passing by from time to time, and some of their animation posters posted around. Everything was a bit too dreamy. These. Yui Hirasawa's hands began to tremble, and his mouth moved, but he didn't know what to say. The rest of the girls were in the same state. After Sawako entered the backstage, the corners of his mouth began to twitch. In the end, Akiyama Mio couldn't bear it anymore. Wait a minute, Akiyama Mio stepped forward and grabbed Yaruo's sleeve. You brought us here, are we going to perform here? When she asked this question, Mio Akiyama couldn't believe it herself, because a half-banded band like the light music department was completely incompatible with this kind of big venue, as if they had broken into a world they shouldn't have broken into. There is a huge gap between this place and the auditorium of the school festival. That's right, Yaruo looked at Akiyama Mio's face and smiled. I'm going to give you a surprise. How about this surprise? This. Akiyama Mio felt dizzy in her head. Surprise, scare more. Is Yaruo-jun crazy? How much money does this have to lose? The first thing Akiyama Mio thought of was how much money Yaruo had lost for this surprise. Although she probably guessed that Yaruo-jun was not someone who was short of money, that's not how money was spent. Although she thought so in her mind, when Akiyama Mio saw Yaruo's serious face, she was unexpectedly moved. The promise they had made during the month seemed to appear before her eyes again. Akiyama Mio was caught in the memories of that time. I will help you hold a big concert, will you believe me? Under the moonlight, Yaruo said so at that time. Follow me. Yaruo brought the Kingian girls to the stage. At this moment, there were no audience sitting in the venue. At first glance, the entire venue was empty, but the densely packed seats were enough to shock people. How about it? This venue is prepared for you, it can accommodate 60,000 people. After hearing Yaruo's confirmation, the 5 girls who came to Hwagyo to perform were breathless. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 193. The off-campus live that the light music department has participated in, the most formal one, was once introduced by an acquaintance, and participated in a live house performance. Live house is a kind of band performance venue that originated in Japan. It is similar to a bar to perform for the audience. At that time, the live house for the light music department was not big, and the venue was about 100 square meters. There were also many bands performing, and the light music department just one of them. In total, there were only 4 songs performed, but that experience was already a good enough experience for the light music department. There is only one such opportunity in a few years. Usually, the place where the light music department can perform is the school festival and the entrance ceremony of the new students in the school. But the total area of the live house that impressed them was not as big as the backstage of this venue. That's why they were shocked when they saw such a huge concert. How is it? Are you satisfied? After Sioruo finished speaking, she glanced at the stunned girls. Sioruo was very satisfied with their shocking reactions. But Mio Akiyama came back to her senses at the first time. She looked at Sioruo with a complicated expression. Although she was moved by Sioruo's intentions, there were still some practical issues to consider. Such a big venue is completely meaningless, it just looks cool. Without spectators, no matter how big the venue is, it's just a waste of money. There are spectators, how could there be no spectators? The tickets are all sold out, Sioruo said with a smile. How many tickets have you sold? Akiyama Mio asked curiously. Sioruo looked into Akiyama Mio's eyes, the corners of her mouth curled up slightly, and she pointed to the empty seats. All 60,000 tickets have been sold out, and the performance will be broadcast live. Tickets sold out? The girls exclaimed in unison. How could it be sold out? We obviously don't have much fame, Akiyama Mio asked in puzzlement. Only some popular bands can have so many fans digest the 60,000 concert tickets. They can sell so many tickets, except there is no other possibility than a miracle. You may not know that you are very famous on the internet now, and you already have many fans on the internet in Hwaguo. Sioruo had already prepared, took out her mobile phone, and opened a cute station video. Look. Sioruo played the video she just opened. What video? I want to see. When the girls heard Sioruo's words, they immediately gathered around and looked at the phone in Sioruo's hand. The video that Sioruo clicked for them was actually the video of Kingian girls at my home that she uploaded a long time ago. This video has a very light tone style, the shooting angle is quite well selected, and the performance is very good. Coupled with the popularity of the animation, it has become a town treasure in Mengjian. Coupled with the popularity of the recent concert, the number of hits has already exceeded 10 million. When the girls saw the video that Sioruo clicked on, they didn't see any content, but saw countless bullet screens flying by, which almost completely covered the content of the video. It's just that the bullet screens are all in Chinese, and the Kingian girl doesn't understand the above content at all. Wow, there are so many barrages, Yui Hirasawa exclaimed, I just can't understand the words on the barrages, what do they mean? Hey, isn't this what happened when we were at Sioruo's house? I remember playing a song at that time. Is the song Floating Time popular? Although there were a lot of barrage, Tanakaritsu still recognized the content in the video. Sioruo, did you actually record it? Yes, I recorded them all and uploaded them to the internet. Many netizens like your playing style. This relaxed and girly combination seems to be very popular. Now this video has over 10 million hits. Sioruo showed them the hits. Seeing the number of hits, the girls were all surprised. Really? A lot of clicks are 1/10 of the population of Japan. I've known for a long time that the song Light and Fluttering Time has potential, so when Mio wrote the lyrics, I was the first to agree. Ritsu Tanaka patted Mio Akiyama's hand excitedly. Sioruo clicked on another column, on which were pictures of the two-dimensional characters of the light music department. Not only this song, but also the poster I gave you before. I also uploaded your two-dimensional character design picture on the internet. Many netizens like that character design picture, and there are even many secondary creations on the internet. Your fans all evaluate you as a two-dimensional beautiful girl. A beautiful girl in the second dimension? After hearing this word, Tanakaritsu focused on Akiyama Mio. Not only Tanakaritsu, Hirasawa Yui, Kotobuki, and others also looked at Akiyama Mio. What are you looking at me for? Mio Akiyama looked puzzled. Has Mio Akiyama's fan club expanded overseas now? It's really scary. Ritsu Tanaka touched his chin and said with emotion. Mio Akiyama. As for the animation, Syaruo still concealed it, because it was difficult to explain and it was troublesome. Anyway, the Kingian girls don't understand Chinese, and they can't understand the comments posted by netizens on the internet. Syaruo didn't find any backstage staff who can speak Japanese, and at most they will communicate in English. Relying on the half-baked English of the girls and the backstage staff, they couldn't even talk about the animation. No matter what the fans shouted, these idols couldn't understand. When the performance is over, Syaruo will send them back directly, and there will be no accidents. Syaruo will take care of everything. Afterwards, Syaruo showed them the advertising video they shot, and there were also many clicks and bullet screens on it. Only then did the girls really realize that they might be popular in China. They had also heard of the kind of internet celebrity who became popular because of a certain video or a sentence, but they didn't expect this kind of thing to happen to themselves. Coupled with the large population base of Huaguo, it is not so unacceptable to sell out 60,000 tickets. Next, it was the preparation and rehearsal of the performance. Syaruo went to the backstage to find the person in charge, leaving Kingian and a few people waiting for Syaruo to come back in one place. Wait, are you really going to perform here? Seeing Syaruo leave, Yamanaka Sawako reacted on the sidelines. She hadn't interjected just now, and she was completely in a state of rigidity. Only now did she come back to her senses. When you came here before, you didn't tell me that it was alive of this level. Sawako Yamanaka asked, looking at the girls in front of her. She thought it was a place similar to a live house. 60,000 people, what is the concept of 60,000 people? It's just that Zohezi hasn't noticed yet that the faces of the people in the light music department are a little pale. Although they accepted the setting Syaruo said just now, there was nothing wrong with the excited state just now, but after calming down and thinking about it carefully, their legs began to tremble up. It is also the first time for them to perform in front of tens of thousands of people. We didn't know this was the case either. Ritsu Tanaka shouted. I always feel that this venue is like a concert-level venue that can only be seen on TV. It's a bit too dreamy, said Yui Hirasawa, standing on the stage and looking at the empty seats. She seemed to be imagining that sitting here, what kind of scene is full of people. 60,000, 60,000, 60,000. Azusa Nakano murmured brokenly, her eyes no longer bright. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 194. Although very nervous, Kingian girl has participated in some performances before, so she can slowly adjust her mentality. Soon Syaruo came back, bringing the person in charge of the backstage, and a form to fill in the selection. Syaruo didn't understand a lot of professional things, and the purpose of his stay was to serve as a translator, and also a bit like Kingian's manager and bodyguard, to ensure the safety of the girls. As for Hirasawa Yui's sister Hirasawa Yui and teacher Yamanaka Sawako, Syaruo arranged them to a resting place. After the Kingian girls were in place, they began to make choices such as stage settings and performance styles. Some of them needed to be determined by the girls, and Syaruo acted as an interpreter. Among them, the song order and tune of the performance are determined by Kingian herself, and the lighting effect depends on their opinions. The negotiation went smoothly, and there were some very interesting things, that is, Aki Yamamiya was so girly that she wanted to use pink tones for the whole venue, but was rejected by others, and finally became only the pink tones that were playing the climax. Finally, it's the dress rehearsal. By the way, although Syaruo said that she could prepare the costumes for King Ian's performance, they finally chose the clothes made by Sawako Yamanaka, the shirt with HTT written on it. Syaruo remembers that this shirt was worn by King Ian in the original work when it was praised as the best performance. It was the school festival when she was about to graduate. Sawako Yamanaka made this shirt and asked the audience to wear it during the performance. This shirt. After Syaruo noticed it, she felt that the shirt had great potential and could be sold as a peripheral to fans who came to the show. The rehearsal process was quite smooth. Although they were very nervous at the beginning and made mistakes all the time, they got better and better later on. There were almost no mistakes, but it was just entering a normal state. In the eyes of the King Ian girls, their performance is still at the level of a campus band, which doesn't match this huge stage, but Syaruo thinks that the performance is quite good and praises them all the time. Finally, with Syaruo's encouragement, the girls also gained confidence. After that, time passed quickly, and soon it was the day of the concert. When the concert was about to start, Syaruo could feel that the girls were much more nervous than usual. Just when Syaruo was about to go in to comfort them, she found that Chin Chui had brought a pot from the side, with a faint smile on her face. "Have some tea, I just made tea. Kotobuki is still excellent as always, no matter what the environment can make tea." "Good." Seeing the tea, the King Ian girls seemed to have regained their state. One by one they started to get their own teacups. After drinking the tea, they obviously felt that the King Ian girls relaxed a lot. Get back to the state of fishing in the light music department. At this moment, a staff member opened the door and walked in. "Mr. Xia, it's only 5:30, and half of the audience has already entered the venue." "Really?" Syaruo was a little surprised when she heard the news, so she translated what she just said to the girls. Hearing Syaruo's words, Aki Yamamiya was also a little surprised. "Is anyone here already? Isn't it starting at 7 o'clock? I want to take a look." Ping Xiao suddenly called out. Immediately afterwards, the girls found a place where they could see the seats. Sure enough, they saw that there were many spectators sitting in the originally empty auditorium. So many people. This is the inner thoughts of the King Ian girls. It didn't take long before they were arranged to put on makeup. The performance was about to start. Yamanaka, Sawako and Hizawayu took the VIP ticket Syaruo gave and walked to their seats. This ticket was prepared by Syaruo for them, and they did not refuse it. Looking at it from the front is more atmospheric than looking at it from the background. It was only after they got to the seats at the scene that they realized how big the venue was. Such a large venue. When I watched concerts in Japan, I rarely saw such a scale, but they are really famous. Zoheza looked around. There is still more than an hour before the start, and there are only so many people here. It seems that all 60,000 tickets have been sold out. There are a lot of viewers. My sister is really amazing. I will definitely take pictures of her handsome side in a while. Hirasawa took out a camera. She was going to China to take travel photos before, but now I just want to take pictures of my sister's handsome side, and then keep it as a souvenir. This ticket. Sawako Yamanaka took a look at the ticket in her hand, and there were animation images of 5 girls drawn on the ticket. This animation image is really well designed. Huh. Suddenly, a surprised voice came from Sawako's side. "You are Japanese?" Zoheza turned his head after hearing the voice, and saw a woman who was about the same age as him, with a somewhat mature appearance. The woman was sitting next to him. It seemed that she had just arrived, and she spoke fluent Japanese just now. However, the moment she saw that woman, Sawako Yamanaka's heart beat suddenly. She had a strange feeling, which was a very strange and special feeling, as if she was very close to this woman, as if the person in front of him is very important to him. "Yes, I just came here from Japan," Sawako replied. "Hi, my name is Naoko Yamada, I am so lucky to meet Japanese people here," Naoko Yamada said with a smile. Before the opening, some MVS will be played on the screen of a general concert, but if Syaruo broadcasts it, it will probably be an animation clip. So Syaruo came up with an idea, that is, to post the vlog that she made for the Kingian girls when they came to China. These are all taken by Syaruo with her mobile phone, the black history of square dancing, and some clips of watching pandas and climbing mountains, some of which have been uploaded before, and some of which have not been uploaded before, so they are used as Easter eggs of this concert. Watching all kinds of funny things on the screen, the audience below laughed from time to time. At this moment, the live broadcast platform of Mengzhan is also constantly scrolling. Although the concert has not started yet, the popularity of the live broadcast has reached the first place in the live broadcast of Mengzhan. Really been waiting. They really look exactly like the ones in the anime. There are so many people here, I didn't expect the venue to be so big, I really want to go there, but unfortunately it's too far away. I don't know if there will be a next time. If there is a next time, I will definitely work and earn money to see it. Next time, I have to climb over. Ag. Slippery egg, slick egg. Ha ha ha, the dirt on the slippery egg, but I guess the first song is the slippery egg. As time passed, after 6 o'clock, the seats on the field were already full. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 195. When entering the concert, Syaruo asked people to give out light sticks to every audience when they entered the venue, and waved light sticks to cheer for them. This is a way of cheering for concerts in Japan. So at the scene, tens of thousands of spectators waved light sticks together before the opening. This kind of momentum and on-site effects are superb. The online audience in the barrage are so sore, they have no way to go to the scene, and they all reveal a sense of envy when they post the barrage. And Syaruo noticed that not only male fans but also many female fans came to the scene. Sure enough, Light Music Girl is for both men and women, but the age group is around 20 years old, most of them are students and young people. There are still 10 minutes before the concert starts. Right now, backstage. Nervous. Tension pervades the backstage prep room. It was okay at first, after all, they had performed many times, and they thought they could do the same thing this time. But as the time for the concert got closer, the girls felt more and more nervous, especially when they saw the densely packed audience sitting in the seats and the noisy voices from time to time. They gradually realized that this concert is completely different from the school festival. A concert with tens of thousands of people, a planned 2-hour performance, even some big-name stars would be nervous, let alone their group of children. This performance is indeed a bit stressful for them. The feeling of tension became more and more intense, and even some adverse reactions such as trembling hands, trembling legs, and difficulty breathing began. Even Ritsu Tanaka and Miss Kotobuki, who are usually relatively big, were nervous and silent, and their eyes began to slacken. "My legs are trembling, how can I make it stop?" Pingzui suddenly squatted down, hugged his legs and asked the surrounding partners. Sister Weishui, me too. Nakano Azusa also wanted to control herself not to be nervous, but she couldn't do it at all. Among them, Aki Yamamio was the most nervous, her face was so ugly that one wondered if she would spit it out at any time. At this time, Syaruo had just come back after dealing with an outside matter, and then saw the nervous Kingian girl group. Syaruo actually thought of their emotions. In such a situation, it would be strange not to be nervous, but Syaruo also has a way to deal with this matter. Syaruo slowly walked up to Mio Akiyama, who was the most nervous, and looked at her calmly. "What's the matter, are you still nervous?" Yes, Mio Akiyama nodded with an ugly expression. It's okay, you can do it, Syaruo smiled, and suddenly put her face next to Akiyama Mio's ear, and whispered, have you forgotten? I know magic. When you are nervous and scared, you can still remember what I said. Believe me. Syaruo's voice has a reassuring feeling. Magic. Akiyama Mio suddenly thought of something, her eyes lit up suddenly, she seemed to have recalled that unforgettable experience in another world. Magic that makes people less nervous. Syaruo stretched out her finger, tapped Akiyama Mio's forehead lightly, and cast the sedation technique she learned from Granny Tang. This is a very inconspicuous little magic, but it is surprisingly useful. It's just that this action is a bit like Uchiha Itaka's action against Sasuke in Naruto. After being pointed by Syaruo's finger, Akiyama Mio felt a cool feeling spread all over her body. The negative emotions such as tension and anxiety just now seemed to subside instantly, and even her brain became much more relaxed. Mio Akiyama experienced this feeling once before, and it was still so effective this time. Amazing. With Akiyama Mio's exclamation, the rest of the girls also noticed this. Magic. What magic? Hirasawa Yui was the first to lean forward. Who wants to try magic that can relieve tension? Syaruo asked the girls. Me. I also want. Although the method of magic sounds unreliable, they just need something to relieve their anxiety and tension. However, after being tapped on the forehead by Syaruo, the girls all felt that special feeling. It's amazing, I'm really not nervous anymore, this is really magic. Ritsu Tanaka exclaimed. Kigong. Yui Hirasawa also shouted in disbelief. Huaguo Kung Fu. Chin Chawizu's expression was quite serious. Superpower. Nakano Azusa covered his mouth and looked at Syaruo in shock. Under Syaruo's magical effect, all the girls were really not nervous. Otherwise, in their state just now, it would be good if they didn't play wrong or stumble on the stage. Stop guessing, the show is about to start, hurry up and get on stage. Now, it's time for the concert to start. The concert started, and the background screen began to show the animation characters. Every time a character changed, there would be a violent cheer at the scene. With the waving light sticks, the atmosphere of the scene was extremely warm. At the same time, the King Ian girls entered the arena. At this moment, the cheers reached the highest point, and the light sticks began to be waved neatly, as if they were cheering for a Japanese idol concert, as if they had prepared it in private. Looking at the enthusiastic fans below, the King Ian girls were extremely moved. Soon, the first song began to play. The first song is Go, Go. Maniac, which is a very classic op in the animation, sung by Yui Hirasawa. This song is really familiar to fans who have watched the animation below and don't dance the OP. It has a fast rhythm and it sounds very brainwashing. The song could be heard at the scene, and the audience below cheered loudly, especially the familiar voice. Day-night singing so loud. Girls go maniac. The sound of Yui Hirasawa's song spread throughout the scene. Yui Hirasawa is a live talent. Although he doesn't have enough training and has only a short exposure to musical instruments, every time he plays live, he will perform inexplicably and supernormally. It is the same whether it is singing or playing the guitar. For example, it may be 8 points in normal practice, but it can reach a high score of 12 points in live performance. Even Azusa Nakano, who practiced guitar since childhood, will be shocked by her live performance. The feeling that Yui Hirasawa sang this song is almost exactly the same as the original sound of the animation op, and even slightly exceeded it. With the atmosphere of the scene, it created an extremely exaggerated effect, comparable to a god-level scene. Syaruo watched clearly from the side. With this performance, their performance is definitely worthy of this stage. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I Can Break the Dimensional Wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 197. Note, Huawadan is the empty ear of the lyrics of Light and Fluttering Time in Kingian Girls. There are many repeated lyrics in the back, which is Huawadan it keeps looping. In the concert, the girls played very well. After the first song, they also introduced themselves and thanked the fans of the concert, and then the huge searchlight illuminated everyone, and there was a speech like a joke by Yui Hirasawa in the middle. Of course, they all speak Japanese, and the content is translated by Syoruo later. After the self-introduction, the performance will continue. It may be due to Syoruo's magical technique, there were almost no obvious big mistakes in the middle, only Hirasawa Yui made a typo in the middle, but was saved by Akiyama Mio. After that, everything was smooth and even played reasonably well. Listening to the cheers from the concert, Akiyama Mio's mind was clear. Akiyama Mio also felt strange when playing. Today, he is in a surprisingly good state, everything is very smooth, smooth when playing, and smooth when his fingers touch the strings. Although the body is still a little stiff due to the excessive tension before, but the fingers are very flexible, the cheers of the audience can be heard, and the sound of my own performance can also be heard, and the spirit is also very concentrated. Is it because of magic? At the same time, Mio Akiyama was able to distract her attention from her partner. She found that everyone is in a very good state today. Duan's electronic piano is as stable as ever, without any mistakes at all, and Lu looks very calm. There is no usual rush to shoot mistakes in the process of beating the drums, and the rhythm is perfect. Azusa's guitar also feels stronger than usual. Especially Wei, this guy is simply super evolved. The live performance, Typhoon, and singing feel like a different person. Not only did he make almost no mistakes, but the performance also fully matched everyone's rhythm. She even broke through herself and played her unique style. Everyone's practice is really fruitful. Akiyama Mio concentrated his energy and continued to perform. The 2-hour performance was really like a dream-like miracle. One song after another, although they were very tired, the performance level of the girls did not drop at all. This performance is really a perfect performance. Everything on site is perfect. Not only is the performance perfect, but the audience's cooperation and support are also perfect. The lighting, costumes, makeup, live performance of light music, demeanor, and even the barrage in the live broadcast room are also perfect. There is almost no disappointment. It may be that the girls really practiced seriously before the concert, or it may be that Syoruo's calming technique is too powerful. No matter what the reason is, it doesn't matter anymore. Even Syoruo was fascinated by this concert. Everything about this concert was flawless. Whether it was the audience or the girl with light music, they were all immersed in this perfect concert. It's great. Yui Hirasawa, who was sitting below, watched the performance with tears slowly pouring out, as if he was shocked by his sister on the stage. Yui Hirasawa on the stage was like a real core of the band, with a compelling aura, is completely different from the elder sister in her impression who needs to be taken care of. It's perfect, my sister is so handsome. Hirasawa Yui slowly let go of the hands that were recording with the mobile phone, as if he had forgotten that he was recording. It's really perfect, such a performance. Sawako Yamada, who was sitting on the side, seemed to have some kind of brilliance in her eyes. I usually feel that their performance is just like that, but with the enthusiastic audience of 60,000 people, I suddenly found that they played like a real powerful band. A performance depends not only on the performers above, but also on the audience at the scene. If there is no one below, then no matter how good the performance is, it seems that something is missing. A concert is the cooperation between the performers and the audience. Because of the cooperation of the audience, some God-level scenes were created. The barrage in the live broadcast room has completely exploded. Many regretted not being there. Under such a perfect performance, the time passed quickly, 2 hours seemed to pass in the blink of an eye, and the performance soon reached the last song. The choice of the last song is naturally the most influential light and fluttering time among the Kingian girls. The first song they created is also the most representative song. Light and fluttering time is still as perfect as the previous song. However, at the end of the song, when the song came to Slippery Egg, slowly, the audience began to sing along, and finally turned into a chorus of Slicker Egg. For audiences who don't understand Japanese, it's easy to sing along with Wawaden, which is easy to transliterate. Not only at the scene, but even in the barrage in the live broadcast room, this moment was dominated by Slippery Egg. Following this rhythm, the atmosphere of the concert reached its peak. Looking at the hands waving fluorescent sticks and the enthusiastic and excited faces in the audience, Akiyama Mio didn't know how to describe his current mood. It seemed that it was difficult to describe in words. But this shocking picture has already been imprinted in Akiyama Mio's heart. It's not just her, Hirasawa Yui, Tanaka Ritsuo, Nakano Azusa, and Kotobuki Tsurugi are the same. They never thought that this kind of dreamy scene, which might not necessarily appear even in a dream, just appeared in reality. Middle. It was like a miracle. The miracle that belongs to their light voice department is also a miracle brought by Syaruo. A high school campus band has performed wonderful concerts with tens of thousands of people. For them, at this point in time, this place is their Budokan. This moment, for Akiyama Mio, or for the light tone department, this moment is the happiest moment. Standing on the stage and singing now, it's like owning the whole world. Every audience below is their fan, and their music is also understood and appreciated. In the future, it's impossible to have such a great concert again. Akiyama Mio suddenly thought of this when she was singing, and suddenly felt a bit of reluctance in her heart, but she quickly accepted it. Beautiful memories of this moment will never be forgotten. A large number of lights on the roof of the stadium suddenly came down, cheers, applause, various sounds and music mixed together. The last song is also coming to an end. Even though her tensed legs were trembling before, when she was about to bid farewell to the stage, Akiyama Mio was still a little reluctant to give up what she saw now. This scenery that few people can understand can only be experienced by standing on such a large stage. See the scenery. Not just Akiyama Mio, but the 5 girls on the stage were all surprisingly in the same mood at the moment. This kind of scenery really makes people reluctant to leave. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zoujiazi Jumiao. Chapter 198. With the end of floating time, the whole concert finally came to an end, and the music on the field disappeared. Next, each member who performed said something to the audience, and the concert officially ended. According to the order previously set, Yui Hirasawa, as the lead singer and guitarist, held the microphone first. Hello everyone, I'm Yui Hirasawa, the guitarist of After School Tea Time, yeah. Yui Hirasawa waved to the audience below and even made a yes gesture, looking full of energy. What she said was translated by Syaruo's simultaneous interpreter, and Syaruo found a space not far away to stare at the stage, watching the last moment. The audience off the field responded to her with cheers and light sticks. Ping Zuei looked at this scene, although his forehead was covered with sweat and his body was very tired, but at this moment, the joy in his heart was indescribable. How should I put it, when I stand on such a big stage, I still think, isn't this a dream? But everyone's cheers are real, I'm really standing here, everything is real. Hirasawa Yui's soft and cute voice spread throughout the venue, and with her voice, the venue also fell silent. At that time, I knew that I was going to hold a concert in Hwaguo, and it was Mio who told me about it. It was several months ago. She said at the time that Mr. Syaruo wanted to ask us to go to Hwaguo to perform together. When I heard the news, I felt that I'm so happy to be able to hold a concert, but after thinking about it, I always felt that it was impossible with only us, so I completely forgot about it, and I didn't practice afterwards. Speaking of this, Yui Hirasawa touched his head cutely, and smiled embarrassedly. Haha. There was laughter from the audience. After that, Yui Hirasawa continued to talk about his own mental journey at that time. But later, more than a month ago, Mio-chan brought up this matter again, and even called Mr. Syoruo, saying that Mr. Syoruo was ready and waiting for us. That's when I remembered when I agreed to the concert, I was thinking, it turns out that Mr. Syoruo is serious. Laughter came from below again, and the audience at the scene and the live broadcast audience felt quite interesting listening to Yui Hirasawa talking about these things. I can't help it after that. I agreed. I can only come here. There is still some time when I come. Mio-chan and I practiced hard during that period of time. We practiced very seriously. Besides, everyone thought it was just an ordinary live before we came here, but we didn't realize it was such a big concert when we got there. At that time, there were 60,000 people. My legs were shaking, and Lee-chan's face turned pale. Yui Hirasawa seemed to recall the situation at that time. Hey! Don't talk nonsense, my face turned pale at that time. Lu couldn't help explaining. No. Both the barrage and the audience below were laughing. Fortunately, Yui Hirasawa didn't dwell on this matter for too long, so he changed the subject. This experience is really great. Mr. Syoruo is really reliable. He was the same when he traveled to China last time, and this concert is also the same. He is really a super powerful person and takes good care of others. He has a very good temper, took us to eat roast lamb, and there are a lot of delicious food, and he has been encouraging us in the background, and he has never been angry because of mistakes in rehearsal, so I can play so well today. Today's concert is definitely a great concert, Mr. Syoruo. Nice. Pingzui's eyes are very good. He saw Syoruo standing on the side, and shouted at Syoruo. Mr. Syoruo. Nice. The key is that Pingzi only gave Syoruo a thumbs up while shouting. Nice. Nice. Snapped. A huge searchlight enveloped Syoruo's body, and Syoruo became extremely eye-catching all of a sudden. Well. Syoruo could clearly feel that the eyes of the concert audience around her were all focused on her. But after all, Syoruo's hands were extremely fast. When he felt the searchlight, he quickly took out the fox mask he had obtained from Ghost Slayer, and put it on his face in an instant, covering his own face. To be honest, there was no rehearsal for Yui Hirasawa's self-expression before, she just said it casually, including the current nice, thumbs up. Nice. Syoruo had no choice but to return Ping's only thumb. Seeing Syoruo responding to him, Hirasawa smiled naively. Mr. Syoruo is shy, and blocked himself with a cute fox mask, but I will tell you secretly, Mr. Syoruo is actually very handsome, he is a handsome guy. The atmosphere off stage is amazing. Syoruo was a little speechless, and Yui Pings liked to drag it to some other places inexplicably. However, under Yui Ping's temporary play just now, Syoruo found that his reputation had increased a lot, which can be described as skyrocketing. The 60,000 spectators at the scene, plus the live broadcast room, let Hirasawa advertise like this, which really increased his reputation. Yui Hirasawa was still holding the microphone at this time. I like you the most who can come here this year to support the after-school tea time audience. Oh. There was a lot of cheers from the audience. Hirasawa Yuimi usually acts like a natural idiot, but at this moment she is like a real idol, full of momentum, and there is nothing wrong with what she says. I am really grateful now, I can play here for the audience I like. Here, I want to say thank you to you, thank you for your support. Without you, there would be no performance today. I am really very happy today. Above. After finishing speaking, Yui Hirasawa stepped back. And the next one was Akiyama Mio. Thank you so much for today. After Akiyama Mio picked up the microphone, she glanced at the densely packed audience, thanked them first, and then bowed deeply to the audience. I'm Mio Akiyama, the bass player of After School Tea Time. After she finished saying this, cheers erupted off the stage. It seemed that Akiyama Mio's popularity was indeed the highest. Thank you everyone. Akiyama Mio was a little moved when he heard this voice, and there seemed to be some light in his eyes. This concert is really great, and everyone is very enthusiastic. Well, in fact, when I was preparing for this concert, I worried about many things, such as making mistakes, forgetting words, wrong rhythm, and so on. But everyone is in very good condition today, and the performance was perfect. It's like a miracle. Everything went well. With so many audiences and such a perfect performance, I seem to be afraid that the dream will suddenly wake up at this time. However, it's really great that this concert is not a dream. As Mio Akiyama said, he also glanced at Syaruo's direction, as if he was caught in a memory. The concert was decided a few months ago. At that time, I was traveling in China. Syaruo-jun received him very seriously. At that time, he was troubled a lot. Then one day, Syaruo-jun and I agreed to hold a concert for us. At the time, I wanted to refuse the concert, but then I agreed inexplicably. Having said that, Akiyama Mio suddenly paused, and tears appeared in his eyes. Thinking about it now, it was really great to agree at the time. It was really great to be able to perform on such a big stage. This performance is really the best performance. I am really happy today. Everyone plays here. For us, this is our Budokan. Note, After School Tea Time, the name of the band in the light music department. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 199. When everyone finished saying their farewells, ended everything, and then slowly left the stage, Akiyama Mio couldn't help but look back at the fans who were still waving the cheering sticks, feeling a little bit sad. When leaving the stage, these little girls seemed to cry at any time, and the audience in the audience also felt unfinished. This concert is really exciting. Ding! King Ian's concert, the task is completed, and the rewards are being distributed. At the moment when the concert ended, Syaruo received a reminder that the task was completed, but he didn't go to see it, but went to greet the girls who had just stepped off the stage. A very good performance, Syaruo applauded after seeing several girls returning to the backstage. Yeah, our performance this time is great. By the way, we will make a DVD after the concert. Pingzui suddenly thought of something, and asked Syaruo. At this moment, Yui Hirasawa's face was flushed, and he didn't know whether it was because of excitement or tiredness from the long performance. Of course, I will let them do it well, try to make it as delicate as possible, and then I will send it to you. Syaruo looked at the girls with sweat on their foreheads, said with a smile, and gave them 1 bottle of water per person. The long performance is also a bit hard for them. Syaruo, you are so kind. Hirasawa almost jumped at this answer. When the DVD comes out, you must mail it to us. I want 10 copies. Except for myself, I will keep 3 copies for collection, and I will send them to my parents, grandparents, uncles, and aunts in the countryside. 1 copy per person. Tianjingru looked at Syaruo eagerly. I want it too, Mio Akiyama also shouted quickly. For her, DVDs are not just a collection. Mio Akiyama just wants to relive the last scene on the stage. Hearing that there was a DVD, even Nakano Azusa and Kinbizo, who were usually calm, looked at Syaruo eagerly. Don't worry, everyone will have the DVD at that time. As long as it is ready, I will send it to everyone. At that time, each person will have 20 copies, no, 30 copies. I will also distribute some to my classmates and neighbors. Such a great concert must be known by others, Sioruo assured the girls. Wow, Mr. Sioruo, you are too kind. What a nice guy. Move. The simple little girls were bought off by Sioruo's sweet dates at once, and began to praise Sioruo crazily. Not long after, Hirasawa Yu and Yamanaka Sawako also arrived, and after that, the girls chatted on Twitter, talking about how wonderful the performance was just now, especially Ritsu Tanaka and Yui Hirasawa, who were so excited that they couldn't stop talking. Seeing that everyone was here, Sioruo called them immediately. Okay, don't discuss it yet, we'll discuss it later. Everyone worked hard just now, let's go to dinner now. I have prepared the celebration banquet. Celebration banquet. The girls seemed not expecting that Sioruo was even ready for such a thing, and cheered again. Soon, Sioruo took the girls to the hotel for a big meal. Money was not a problem for Sioruo. Anyway, the tickets and DVDs would be what Sioruo earned, which was not counted as prestige income. By the way, Sioruo is also planning to give it to Kingian Girls' performance, but I don't know how to give it. I don't know if the currencies of different worlds can be used with each other. Away. The food in the celebration banquet was also delicious, and everyone ate very happily. It's just that during the meal, Sioruo found that Akiyama Mio was a little silent and didn't eat much, and then left the seat. Sioruo saw that something was wrong with her expression, so she followed her. What's wrong? Is something uncomfortable? Sioruo asked after catching up with Akiyama Mio. It's okay, I'm fine, maybe I was just tired. Mio Akiyama forced a smile at Sioruo. Sioruo seems to have seen through something. In fact, after Akiyama Mio came down from the stage, Sioruo found her a little depressed, so Sioruo probably guessed something. Are you reluctant to see the scenery on the stage? In fact, it wasn't just Akiyama Mio. When she stepped down, although everyone in Kingian was satisfied, they still felt a little bit reluctant, but Akiyama Mio's performance was more obvious. Yes, the last scene is truly unforgettable. Mio Akiyama did not hide anything, she leaned against the wall quietly, and nodded slightly. The scenery on the stage at that time was really too dreamy. The countless densely packed audiences, restless voices, and enthusiastic voices were really intoxicating scenery. It felt like burning the cells of one's own body. It is precisely because it is too dreamy that it is unforgettable and makes people want to do it again. There is a huge difference between a 10,000-person concert and a school festival. As long as you experience that feeling once, you will be addicted to it. The concert is very tiring, really tiring, but I have never experienced that kind of full satisfaction. I feel that I have no regrets in my life. Were you happy at that time? Sioruo asked suddenly. Happy? Of course I'm happy, very happy. Mio Akiyama nodded heavily. She was indeed very happy. For her who played musical instruments, the concert just now seemed to be a very important dream come true. Sioruo tapped Akiyama Mio's forehead lightly, and said with a smile, "It's fine if you're happy, and you don't have to be too disappointed. The concert can only be held once. Anyway, if you want to come to play in the future, just call me. If you want to experience that kind of scenery, you should hold more concerts." Ah. What? If you like it, just do it next time. The audience likes to watch it anyway, Sioruo said indifferently. Anyway, if you want to come to China to play in the future, just call me and find me. No matter when, I will treat you well. Akiyama Mio hummed weakly, her face suddenly turned red, she didn't know what she thought of. But at this moment, they did not know when they came to a corridor, and there was no one here, only Sioruo and Akiyama Mio. The atmosphere suddenly became a little subtle. Thank you, I have always been taken care of by you, not only for this concert, but also for your help when my parents and I had an accident last time. I really don't know how to thank you, Akiyama Mio said with her head down. After finishing speaking, Akiyama Mio suddenly took out an envelope from her pocket, then grabbed the envelope with both hands, and handed it to Syoruo. This is for you. What is this? Syoruo looked at the envelope and asked in confusion. Akiyama Mio's face turned redder, so she turned her head sideways, her tone flustered. It's a letter I wrote on it, you can open it and read it after I return to Japan. Okay, I'll keep it, Syoruo smiled, and put away the letter from Akiyama Mio. At the same time, Syoruo suddenly noticed that Mio Akiyama was wearing a bracelet given by her mother, and she hadn't seen her wearing it before. You still have this bracelet? Syoruo awkwardly pointed to the bracelet on Akiyama Mio's wrist. Oh, this bracelet is very beautiful, thank you auntie, I usually wear it, but I took it off when I played and practiced, and now I don't need to practice, so I put it on. Akiyama Mio touched his wrist, said the jade bracelet, seems to really like this bracelet. Any questions? It's nothing, you can take it with you if you like. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zoujiazi Jumiao. Chapter 200. When Syoruo held a celebration banquet for King Ian and the others, another storm swept the internet, and it even became a hot search. No way, the concert was really perfect. The concert started at 7 p.m., which happened to be the time after school and get off work. At that time, the popularity of the live broadcast reached millions in an instant, and after the concert was over, there were still tens of thousands of people watching online. There will be more than a dozen comments in the comment area as soon as it is refreshed. Before the concert started, there were still many bad-mouthing comments, saying that real people would destroy the original work, and the actual concert would destroy the IP of Light Music Girl, but everyone was shocked by the live performance. Perfect show. Even the viewers who watched the live broadcast couldn't find any faults. The girls playing on stage almost completely restored the animation characters, and even the music was exactly the same. Moreover, the girls on stage have a very special temperament, as if they really have a two-dimensional feeling, which is a feeling that cosplay cannot imitate. This feeling is the most important, making the audience feel like they are watching a real two-dimensional performance. It's great, it's really a great performance. Mio-chan and Yui-chan's performance is really great. It's really a super cute girl. I saw it on the spot, and it really perfectly restored my imagination of Akiyama Mio. In reality, Akiyama Mio is just as cute. It's super cool when the law team is playing the drum kit, it's really playing, there's no fake singing or playing. It's not just boys who are watching King Ian, there are also many young ladies at the scene, and I want to ask, when will King Ian's sequel come out? King Ian pushes all her life, when is the next concert? I missed it this time, and I cried. If it is held next time, I will definitely come. Those comments were closed with just a little glance. In the next few days, Syoruo took the girls to some nearby attractions for a few days and bought a lot of souvenirs. Even on the road, I happened to meet fans who wanted to sign autographs and take photos with them. The King Ian girls also happily took photos with the fans and signed autographs for them, looking very polite. They seemed to be having a good time during the concert and the trip. It was Akiyama Mio who had been avoiding Syoruo for some reason, and didn't say much. After playing for about 4 days, it was finally time for them to leave. The car took them to the airport. This concert is really hard for you. I will send you the reward for this performance after you go back, Syoruo said to the girls. Is there any money I can take? Little stars appeared in Yui Hirasawa's eyes. Syoruo glanced at the girls. Of course, we are so familiar, so naturally we can't let you perform in vain. Don't worry, there is also the DVD thing, I have already asked them to do it, and then there will be 30 DVDs per person I won't forget either. Although cross-world rewards are very troublesome, Syoruo is not sure whether the money in this world and the money in that world can be circulated, but it is just a trouble, and it can be solved if you think about it. The worst is to go to the world of King Ian and exchange some gold, give them money, anyway, they can't let these girls suffer. Snapped. Tanakaritsu directly stepped forward and held Syoruo's hand with both hands. Because the movement was too fast, there was a noise when it touched. Seeing tears in her eyes, she spoke. You are such a good person. I thought you took all our rewards for yourself. It seems that I am thinking too much. Next time you come to Japan, you must come to my house for dinner. I must treat you well. I see. Syoruo slowly pushed away Tianjin Grui's hand. In the past few days, he didn't know how many good person cards he had accepted. In the end, when they were about to board the plane, Mio Akiyama still ran up to Syoruo. She hadn't talked to Syoruo much in the past few days, and she was a little hesitant, but now she seemed to have finally mustered up her courage. I'm leaving, thanks to Syoruo-jun's care this time, and the concert, too, thank you very much, Akiyama Mio said, bending down and bowing to Syoruo-jun. Syoruo looked at Akiyama Mio, and said softly, you have thanked me many times, I know, don't thank me anymore, it's all what I should do. Well, Mio Akiyama's eyes were erratic at the moment, she didn't dare to look at Syoruo, and her face became a little rosy. Well, have you read the letter I gave Syoruo-jun before? Didn't you say that I can read that letter after you leave? So I kept it on me all the time, and haven't opened it yet. Syoruo took out the letter from her pocket. Can I watch it now? Don't look at it yet. Akiyama Mio quickly reached out to stop her. She had been a little uneasy before, she felt that the time for delivering the letter was too early. What if Syoruo read it in advance? She seemed relieved to know that Syoruo hadn't read it yet. I'll open it after I get on the plane. Okay, Syoruo took the letter back, and he was also a little curious about the contents of the letter. Akiyama Mio's gaze kept on watching the letter until it was put away by Syoruo. It seemed that to Akiyama Mio, that letter was very important. By the way, there is something I've always wanted to tell you. Akiyama Mio's face turned red again, she wanted to say something, but she couldn't say it, and her body was very tense. In the end, Akiyama Mio held back for a long time, without saying a word, turned her head and ran to her partner who was waiting there, but waved to Syoruo when she left. Looks like that's the farewell. Syoruo looked at Akiyama Mio's movements, smiled softly, and took out the letter from Akiyama Mio from her pocket. I didn't say anything because what I wanted to say was in the letter. The Kingian girls have all left and returned to their world. And Syoruo also returned home, and took out the letter that Akiyama Mio had given her. Now that she has left, according to the agreement, she can open and read the letter herself. What letter will it be? In fact, Syoruo had guessed what the letter might be before, but when she actually opened it, her mood was a bit complicated. Syoruo didn't hesitate, and directly opened the envelope. The envelope seemed to be specially prepared by Akiyama Mio, with a cute little bear drawn on it. Looking at this little bear, Syoruo would always associate Akiyama Mio with this little bear. After opening it, Syoruo saw the contents of the letter. The words on the letter were beautiful and neatly arranged. Although it was in Japanese, the handwriting was unexpectedly delicate, giving the impression of a little girl. This letter is the lyrics. Syoruo read a few sentences, and found that the letter written by Akiyama Mio to herself was actually the lyrics of a song. This kind of feeling is really worthy of Akiyama Mio. Every time I see you, my heart is always pounding. My slightly trembling thoughts flutter like cotton candy. Looking at your profile, always working so hard. No matter how long you stare at you, you won't notice. If only in a dream. So I can, close the distance between you and me. Ah, God, please. Give me a dream time alone with you. I want to hold my beloved bunny. Hope to go to sleep early tonight. Sure enough, the content of this letter is the lyrics of Light and Fluttering Time. Syaruo is very familiar with this lyrics. This is the song that the Kingian Girls Band is best at. Most importantly, the creator of the lyrics of this song is Mio Akiyama. Your inadvertent actions made my heart ache again today. Your casual smile always gets me overexcited. Once upon a time, I saw your serious expression. If I close my eyes, it will appear in front of my eyes. Even if it's a dream. I really want a sweet time that belongs to us. Oh God, why? The deeper the love, the sadder the dream at night. I've found a spare bear. I wonder if it will be the same tonight? If only I could show some courage. Talk to you naturally. Maybe there will be a little change. I've always had this hunch. But this is the hardest part. I don't know what topic to talk about. And think about it like this before you speak. It can't be called natural at all. Oh, forget it, let's wash and sleep, wash and sleep. Ah, God, please. Give me a once-in-a-lifetime miracle time. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Mio Akiyama. I can break the dimensional wall. Author, Zhou Jumiao. Chapter 201. Kingian's concert is over, and the task is also completed. Syaruo checked her task rewards. Kingian's concert mission completed, degree of completion, excellent. Reward 1, open the character reputation system. Reward 2, 500 reputation. Reward 3, 1 random world draw. Looking at the rewards in the system, Syaruo wasn't too surprised. There was really no problem with this mission, and if she achieved excellent completion, she would usually get 3 rewards. Among them, Syaruo completely ignored the reward of 500 reputation points. Now she relies on her colleagues to earn reputation, and she has almost 500 reputation points every day. As for reward 1, the opening of the character reputation system, Syaruo didn't know what this reward was for. He should already have the reputation system. The reputation system of this reward should be somewhat different from the previous one. Afterwards, Syaruo searched in the system and found something different. On the system panel, that is, near her reputation panel, another panel appeared. There was a reputation ranking list on that panel. Lists the reputation points of animated characters. Among them, the role with the most prestige today is Tom. Tom's reputation is 10,000 plus, which is very conspicuous, and the second is Mio Akiyama, with a reputation of 3,000 plus, followed by Tsubaki, Kikyo, and Kingian, whose reputation is about 1 or 2,000. Going down, the prestige is not even 1,000. Hey, the prestige of animation characters, do they have prestige too? Syaruo didn't expect the new function to be able to see the reputation of animated characters, but the distribution of this reputation is a bit strange. Judging from this reputation, the reputation of this reputation ranking should not include the reputation of the original work, that is, the reputation of the original work is not counted, and only the reputation of the fan animation is calculated. Otherwise, Jerry's reputation is not as good as that of Tom, so high, not less than almost nothing. Tom has been with Syaruo a lot, so his reputation has exceeded 10,000 points. However, how to use this reputation? Is it possible to extract their reputation, or can these reputations be used by animation characters? Syaruo spent a long time testing the prestige function of this character, and even caught Tom, trying to get Tom's prestige out, but Syaruo never found a suitable method. It seems that this new function can only see the reputation of animated characters, but there is no way to use it. I can only watch it, can't I use it? Syaruo frowned. It should be that some functions are still missing. If the system is upgraded in the future and there are new functions, these prestige should be available. It should not be the time yet. Since it couldn't be used, Sioruo immediately skipped this matter, and began to focus on the random world lottery that was rewarded earlier. This lottery has been done many times, and Sioruo is very familiar with it, so he immediately started the lottery. Lottery. Sioruomo said. He didn't know what world he would draw this time. Sioruo looked forward to every lottery draw, because he could always see different worlds. And the system's lottery has never disappointed Sioruo. A familiar feeling came, and Sioruo entered her consciousness space. At the same time, countless light spots flickered in Sioruo's consciousness space. Those light spots represented countless small worlds. Soon, those light spots turned up. Spin, spin, spin. Finally, a small spot of light slowly turned in front of Sioruo. This spot of light is very small, smaller than the spot of light that Sioruo saw before, and there is no golden light shining, but something special is that Sioruo noticed that there seems to be something in the center of this spot of light. But it was too small, and Sioruo didn't know what it was. I don't know what world I drew this time. Sioruo stretched out his hand and touched the light spot in front of him. The moment he touched the light spot, Sioruo withdrew from the consciousness space and returned to the real world. As usual, in just a short moment, he got to the world news. It's actually such a world, a game world? It's not bad. Wait a minute, what is this? Sioruo suddenly snorted, because he found that after he came out of the consciousness space just now, there was an extra box on the table in front of him. Obviously there was nothing on the table before. What suddenly appeared was an ordinary-looking cardboard box, like a courier box, but there was a paragraph of English written on the box. "No World Online," Sioruo read out silently, and he probably guessed what was in the box. Giving a world by lottery is not counted, even props are given away. This service is too considerate, it is worthy of a conscience system. Sioruo opened the box in front of her, and found a helmet and 2 pairs of white gloves inside. This is the device that enters the world of virtual reality. Get a new animation, because I'm too afraid of pain, all points to defense. The name is very long, but very interesting. The theme is an online game animation of a virtual game. The content is that the heroine, Maple, played a New World Online Vermo game under the emway of her friend, and then chose the Big Shield profession in the game, and finally put all the attribute points into defensive power, and became a boss that was more terrifying than the boss. The ultimate villain. Among them, the plot is also very interesting, that is, Maple Ou Huang possesses, and then inexplicably obtains a super powerful ability, unlimited cheating, and then pretending to be forceful. Whenever you think she is already invincible, she will be invincible. On the basis of being invincible, it continued to hang around, shattering the audience's glasses. It's a bit like Feng Aotian, but the rhythm of the animation is quite good. The heroine is very cute, she is a very cute girl, so the impression is very good. It can be viewed as a funny show, and this animation was also very famous at that time. However, Sioruo cares more about the game world and the concept of Vermo than the animation content. Vermo, roughly means virtual reality massive multiplayer online. A kind of game can be completely visualized and tactile by controlling human sensory nerves or affecting sensory organs through some high-tech equipment. That is, it can produce a sense of reality during the game. Remember, there is the animation of Sword Art Online. The game in it is this mode. This is a technology ahead of its time, a technology that gamers dream of. I don't know how long it will take to make this game in this era. It's a bit too futuristic, but the technology in it can be used for reference. Sioruo picked up the helmet in front of her and looked at it. This helmet is quite light and well designed. As long as you wear this helmet, you can enter a game world. Although it is a game in another world, since the system has issued itself a helmet, there is no problem connecting to a server in another world.